Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the semi-finals of the Mae Young Classic. 4 women remain for the chance, not only, of course, to win the prestigious trophy, but to become the SmackDown Women's Champion, with the final set to collide at Evolution here tonight. It is the second round. It is a big match to get it underway as well. It is SHAYNA BASZLER against Io Shirai. And here is the first competitor. Here comes the Queen of Spades, looking to continue the dominance that she had in the first round. SHAYNA BASZLER making her way out this evening. Baszler had to overcome Bayley in the first round, and at the end of it we saw a little bit of a change of heart towards Bayley, but of course it's not about Bayley. Bayley ain't in this tournament anymore. It's about SHAYNA BASZLER. It's about Io Shirai, Ember Moon, and Sasha Banks, the 4 women who remain in this one. The ever dominant, ever confident, and almost ever expressionless SHAYNA BASZLER gets ready to do battle here tonight with the Black Lotus herself in Io Shirai. It is going to be an interesting contest for both women. These are very different styles that we're thinking about here, that we're looking at here between these 2 women. They definitely do not mesh well with one another in that regards. It is submission against a lot of athleticism and high-flying offense from Io Shirai, but this side of her that isn't the Io Shirai that we came to know overseas in the companies like Stardom, this Io Shirai is different, twisted, uncanny. You cannot prepare for what is to come from Io Shirai, and that can be an advantage and a disadvantage depending on who you are. Even as Io Shirai, you may not know what you're doing, so you may not have a game plan. Io Shirai has been in situations close to this a number of times. There are plenty of occasions within the WWE that she has climbed herself towards the top of the mountain, but just when that brass ring, that hypothetical brass ring, is waiting to be brought down, it slips out of her hands. The opportunity just sinks away. And now tonight is the chance for all of that to change around. Tonight is the chance for Io Shirai to get one step closer to making the hypothetical brass ring a real SmackDown Women's Championship. But SHAYNA BASZLER is in front of her right now, and of course whoever is victorious in the other semi-finals matchup between Ember Moon and Sasha Banks to come as well will of course make all the difference. Right now though, elbow tie between these 2. Chain wrestling going on here, trying to get the upper hand over the other. Again, they go back into the collar elbow type. Into the turnbuckle we go. It's Baszler who has Shirai here in the turnbuckle. Will we see a clean break? No! Not a surprise from SHAYNA BASZLER. Quick shot there, and Shirai came in looking to follow up, and oh! Baszler making her pay. Big forearms in the face, and a nasty German suplex, setting an early receipt there to Io Shirai. This from Baszler, just no niceties about it, nothing kind or considerate. This is that MMA background of SHAYNA BASZLER. This is what made her one of the 4 horsewomen of women's mixed martial arts. This is what makes her absolutely lethal, and Io Shirai is just covering up absolutely none of it right now. Brutal knees in the side of the head. For some people that could have been a stoppage right there and then. And for Shirai, she might well not know where she is, as she is said to the outside. Just pure confidence, expressing from the face and the mannerisms of SHAYNA BASZLER. I called her often an expressionless. That's not the case right now, as she is all over Io Shirai in this one. Sent back into the ring, and simply put, there is nothing in Shirai right now. No fight, no fire, no drive. Nothing. Just a lot of pain running through that body, and it's only getting worse, courtesy of Shayna Baszler. Look at those pinpoint elbows there, crashing down into the head and the skull of Io Shirai. And after all the punishment she has taken here, for all we know, that could be enough to end it. The cover is made, but Io Shirai almost telling Shayna Baszler, bring it on. Somehow only getting the shoulder up on one there. Now Shayna Baszler almost like she's trying to rip an arm out of socket to make her pay for kicking out. Oh, nice elbow by Shirai, creates some separation there, creates an opening, and spills them to the outside. And now Shirai finally has some breathing room in this matchup to get something going. Finally has an opportunity to get anything going for herself here. Big time, running knee to the side of the head of Baszler, whose body was draped over that steel barricade right there. And then Shirai sends her back into the ring now. Opportunity for Shirai to retake control here in this contest, to actually take control for the first time in this contest. It has been mostly Baszler, but Shirai firing back up here. Orlando cheering her on as a big kick connects it to the chest of Baszler. Look at that, Baszler slow here, seated in the turnbuckle, trying to recover. Has been taking a beating and it's only getting worse. Up into the skies and coming back down with that drop kick into the chest of Shayna Baszler. Io Shirai, she may have started slow, but she is full of fire now. Through the ropes, boots in the face. Baszler stays up on a vertical basis. Not for much longer there, wheelbarrow arm drag. And again, Baszler is crawling into that turnbuckle, crawling into a seated position. Not a place you want to be with Io Shirai, and that's why! That is exactly why! Took the words right out of my mouth and used the double knees in the face of Baszler. Shirai on the top rope, but no one's home on that leg drop. And Baszler right up to her feet and right back to smack it away. And then look to slap the head off of Io Shirai for good measure as well. My goodness, again, every time Baszler has Shirai on her back, it's just these brutal strikes. That elbow just digging into the head. Every time Shirai is on the mat, it just gets worse and worse for her. It's continued punishment, and Shirai has no counter for it. And the more punishment she's taken, the less likely she is to counter it as well. Oh, Baszler's changed her focal point now. She is trying to take the moonsault away from Io Shirai, targeting the leg there. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she has to do to win. Ankle lock applied here. Ankle lock stitched in. Shirai in big trouble. The longer she's in this, the more the moonsault gets taken away from her, and the closer she could come to tapping out to Baszler. Oh, she rolls through though and kicks away, getting herself free of that one. Shirai for Baszler, crossface, crossface. Here's Shirai with the crossface. Now it's Baszler in trouble. Now it's Baszler who's going to be seeking an escape out of this one. Can Shayna Baszler find her way out of it? Yes, you would expect it though from a submission expert like Baszler to find her way out of that hold. And indeed she does. Front face lock. Here we go. Another submission on the way. An even worse one. Ramping up the pain with a guillotine. Guillotine locked in here. Wrap the arm around the head, stitch the hand, under the throat, under the chin, and choke out your opponent. But Io Shirai is not going to let that happen. Breaks her way out of the hold. Incredible submission offense from both there, but neither able to get an advantage. Bulldog from Shirai to send it to the finals. To send her to Evolution at that as well, but it's not to be. Now working over the arm here, Shayna Baszler. We talked about Baszler trying to take away the moonsault of Io Shirai a moment ago. This could be trying to take away the key refuter driver. Counter made there by Shirai, however. As Baszler got back up to her feet, now Baszler sent it to the turnbuckle. Handspring back elbow. Shirai going after that arm again, really committing to maybe trying to take away the submission offense that finished off Bayley in the first round. Here we go, Shirai into a moonsault of her own. From a standing position, though not from the top rope, and it seems as if one simply isn't enough. Two will connect. And now look at this arm trapped here. STF locked in. Incredibly punishing and painful submission to find yourself in. Baszler's arm trapped behind the head of Shirai, and the neck crank in the opposite direction. But Shayna Baszler again, those knees that have become a focal part of her offense here this evening, coming out to play once again. Suplex onto Shirai. Oh no, cross armbar locked in. She crosses the arms, crosses the legs over, twisting that arm back. If she stretches it out, if she straightens it, Io Shirai has no choice but to tap out, or her arm will pop out of socket. Shirai able to evade any eventualities, breaking her way out of the hold there. Not a submission offense from these two women, it has to be said. Body kicks from Shirai, get countered on the turnbuckle. Now it's Baszler with some of her own, kicking away into the ribs of Shirai, but Shirai comes up with the counter. It's Baszler in the corner now. They are kicking away at each other and showing no remorse either, and even less there from Shirai. This is what I talked about, the unpredictable and sadistic side of it, choking Baszler out in the corner there with absolutely no remorse. And even again, we see it here, stomping away. We didn't see this when she took on Zelina Vega. Oh! She had the thud of the knee in the back there. Animated though by Baszler again. Tit for tat, these two women have been with one another in our first semi-final contest here in the Mae Young Classic, setting the bar high for Sasha Banks and Ember Moon that is to follow. And again, once again in this matchup, the floor is open for Shayna Baszler to punish Io Shirai with those brutal, devastating blows. Dragging it to the middle of the ring, and the knees will come out to play again. And it's as I talked about earlier, the more offense Shirai is taking, the less likely she looks to even be trying to counter it. She is just almost accepting the strikes. She isn't trying to fight out of them. She isn't trying to stop them. She's just taking them. And that is only getting worse and worse for Io Shirai, whose arm is now trapped behind the ropes, and Baszler with big blows into the chest there, and another heavy kick to the side of the head. It has to be said though, while it has been tit for tat, and while Baszler has been executing these brutal strikes onto Io Shirai, it's tough to say if either really look like they're close to closing off this contest right now. Maybe I was wrong. Those knees just knocked Io Shirai to the outside and could have knocked Shirai out with it. Baszler is just standing over what is essentially fallen prey at this point. And now on the outside again. Jessica Khan may well seriously have to step in here and take a look at Io Shirai for the punishment that she has taken. All the heavy blows and knees that she has taken to the skull. She well could have a concussion here. But there's nothing she can do about it right now. They're on the outside, and it's once again, it's Shayna Baszler in complete control, sending Shirai into the steel ring post there. And any concerns about a concussion could have been amplified right there and then. Head first into it. Count up to 7 now. Baszler sending them back into the ring. Still, there is nothing in Shirai in this moment in time. It is just completely and utterly Shayna Baszler. From the second, Shirai moves out of the way of the dropkick. Shirai evades the dropkick and almost screaming to herself to find a second wind within her. Look out, yo! Big kick by Shirai. Baszler sent over. Shirai comes to the ropes. Beautiful. The speed of it all. Too quick to withstand. too quick to maintain. The Hurricanrana connected, and Shirai now. Oh, top rope moonsault, literally from the top rope. Cover me. Is it over? Is it over? No! Baszler kicks out, and that was the first real opportunity that it felt like one of these two women might have won this matchup, and it was oh so close for Shirai, but just not enough. Baszler kicked out, but she's back in this hard trap crossface. She's back in that punishing hold. Can she fight her way out of it? Baszler turning over to her side and kneeing her way free again. Well, it's certainly safe to say that whichever of these two incredibly gifted and talented women are going to Evolution to fight for the chance to become SmackDown Women's Champion, whichever one of them it is, they ain't going in at 100%. In this case, Shirai at best might be at 75%, and that can only bode well for Sasha Banks or Ember Moon. But who knows, we haven't seen them fight yet. They could end up having an even bigger fight than what we've seen between these two women. Oh no. Top rope. Both women up there. This never ends good for one party. And that party is Io Shirai! Superplex! Dead center. Middle of the ring. There's two. There's a kick out from Shirai. And Baszler, aggravated, annoyed, wanting to know what she has to do here to finish off Io Shirai. Oh no. Well, she may have just found it within her. She may have found what she needed within her, because look at the absolute strength there at which she dominated Io Shirai and maintained complete control. And again, those elbows connecting, these clubbing blows. Just going to go for the knees again. This has been something that Baszler has gone to the well so many times in this contest, and every single time it has been a success. Every single time Shirai is just brutalized by them. I'm usually one who likes to see the referee let it go and let the competitors fight, but sooner, at some point, Jessica Carr has to get in here, has to tell Shayna Baszler to stop that, or to see if Io Shirai can even fight on. It seems as if she's fine with letting the contest fly. These two women have signed up for a fight no matter what, and Io Shirai still has plenty of fight in her, it would seem. She screams down at Shayna Baszler, and a Meteora comes in. Double knees to Baszler. And after everything she withstood, Io Shirai is on the top rope with a look in her eyes that spells evolution. No one home of those salts. And now she's got her. It may not have been the suplex, but it's the Kirifuda clutch. It's locked in. It's locked in. The legs are wrapped around the body. The arms are wrapped around the neck. Io Shirai, will she fade? Will she have to tap like Bayley did? No, she elbows out. She floats over. She floats over. Cover, cover, cover from Shirai. There's two. Oh! Baszler almost had it. Shirai, she's in. Koji clutch is locked in. Baszler in huge trouble. Jessica Carr looking into the eyes of Shayna Baszler, asking if she wants to give up here. Shirai wrenching with everything she's got to try and force the Queen of Spades to give in. It is locked in deep, and Baszler, at this point, she might well pass out rather than tap out. It's in. Is there any fight in Baszler? Baszler taps. Baszler taps out. Shirai submits the Queen of Spades. This is where it all nearly went so wrong for her. No one was home on the moonsault. She gave up her back. Expert positioning from Baszler. The Kirifuda clutch was locked in. And it looked as if that was it. After all the brutal assault she had taken, all the elbows, all the knees, that it would be that it would be game over. Shirai floated over, still in the clutch, but Baszler got the shoulder up in time. But immediately, as if she knew exactly what to do, Shirai ditched the moonsault, ditched what made her the genius of the sky, and locked in that Koji clutch. And that was that. Io Shirai goes to the finals of the Mae Young Classic and is one step away from being the SmackDown Women's Champion. But who will she meet at Evolution? Will it be Sasha Banks or Ember Moon? We will find out in the next edition of the Mae Young Classic. Oh, hello here. Io Shirai standing face to face with Stephanie McMahon, with SmackDown Women's title in hand, may I add. Hang on here, hang on. What is Sasha Banks making her way out and getting into the fascia of the boss's daughter? It seems as if she is letting Stephanie know that there's no need to be congratulating Io. That title is hers, and she is coming to let Io Shirai know it as well. Sasha Banks getting into the ring here, getting into the face of the woman who just went through an incredible fight. What's Io Shirai talking about there? She's trying to play mind games with Sasha Banks early on. Oh! Ember Moon with an eclipse from the top. Sasha Banks looking up at the ceiling. Could that be what happens when they meet in the semi-finals?